Tesla says goodbye to pieces of its Maxwell acquisition. Model S had a temporary pause in deliveries. New hardware appears to be incoming for the entire fleet, and much, much more. This is Tesla Tidbits episode number 662 for the week of July 25th, 2021. We start the tidbits flowing this week with news from Tesla owners online that Tesla has sold portions of the Maxwell business that it acquired back in early 2019. Maxwell was then known for two things: its ultracapacitor technology and its dry electrode battery technology. Even at the time, many speculated if Tesla would ever make use of the ultracapacitor technology, or if it was simply a play made purely for the battery tech. It's crystal clear now that they were purely interested in the battery stuff, as the remainder has been sold to UCAP Power for an undisclosed amount. Elon responded to the tweet by Tesla owners online, commenting across two tweets, quote, "Ironic indeed, as I was at one point going to do my PhD at Stanford on high energy density capacitors for use in electric vehicles. But lithium-ion has it covered. Even with no advances in lithium-ion technology, it's possible to transition Earth to sustainable energy. Dry electrode is a key piece, one of many pieces, of the puzzle for lowering cost of lithium batteries. That said, it has required an immense amount of engineering to take Maxwell's proof of concept to high-quality volume production, and we're still not quite done." End quote. To me, it's a great move on Tesla's part. While I'm sure they probably trialed some things in a lab setting with the capacitor technology, when they ultimately determined it wasn't happening, it made sense to profit from the asset that they had no use for by selling it off. It would be interesting to know what they got for the tech, as it's entirely possible they've either nearly or totally negated the original cost of the Maxwell purchase. Tidbit number 2 is a story that turned into a non-story by the end, but is still worth reporting. Sawyer Merritt reported that Model S had seen a sudden delay in delivery appointments being scheduled, and had the root cause of why. He tweeted, quote, "So I was told yesterday that the Model S is currently on containment hold. I wanted to learn why before tweeting anything. I've been told a myriad of reasons is for the hold. Tesla is apparently having trouble with getting white seats, carbon fiber trim, and display screens." End quote. I actually pressed him on the tweet, noting it would be odd if it was only specific to S, and questioned if there were any delays for X, 3, or Y, to which he responded saying he had no word on the other vehicles. However, it turned out to be much ado about nothing, as just a day later he posted that he'd been sent multiple photos of delivery appointments in the following days. I feel as though we may get a couple more of these day or two hiccups as Tesla navigates potential supply chain issues. Thankfully, unlike other manufacturers, they're not beholden to specific parts and can utilize whoever can supply what is necessary to continue to get cars to us. We may notice the adjust on the fly occasionally when this happens, but this is far better than the alternative for being down many days or even weeks. Tidbit number 3 is another round of Model 3 and Model Y price increases, as reported by Teslarati. The long-range version of both vehicles went up another $1,000 US, putting the Model 3's price without other options at $49,990, and the Model Y's price at $53,990. This continues a trend of increases throughout the year. Model 3 long range started the year at a $46,990 price point, and Model Y started at $49,990. This isn't much of a surprise though, as given the parts shortages affecting the industry, and Tesla booking deliveries of Model 3 up to 14 weeks out now, and Model Y simply showing availability as being November, the company clearly has more orders than it has cars for, and is adjusting pricing accordingly. Hopefully, shortages ending and new production capacity coming online can alleviate these pricing changes, but the earliest it would seem we're going to get that relief in any real form would be the fourth quarter when the two new factories come online. But even that can't dodge an issue if suppliers are still short on parts to provide to Tesla. In the short term, though, it would seem that this will be good for company financials, as they'll be making that much more on each vehicle sold. Tidbit number 4 is certainly a blessing/curse story coming from an Elon tweet reply. It's long been wondered exactly when other EV manufacturers would begin using the supercharger network, or if this would ever happen in any meaningful way. It would seem that this is about to be a thing if this tweet from Elon is to be believed. Teslatino on Twitter was pondering about Tesla catching flack for creating a proprietary charging connector when, frankly, there was no high-power standard at the time. Elon agreed, but had some additional info saying, quote, We created our own connector, as there was no standard back then, and Tesla was only maker of long-range electric cars. It's one fairly slim connector for both low and high power charging. That said, we're making our supercharger network open to other EVs later this year. End quote. While this is undoubtedly great for advancing the transition to sustainable transport, us as Tesla owners will certainly feel some short term pain as other EVs begin to use the network and cause congestion. On a personal note, I rolled into a 6-stall supercharger in the middle of nowhere that I've never seen more than 2 other cars at recently, and I used the final stall. If even in rural Ohio we're beginning to see some crowding, this could short term be ugly. However, it'll be long term great, as you have to think that the new influx of vehicles will basically be paying for the build out of the network, which everybody will benefit from. Tidbit number 5 this week is a short update to our Canadian friends, courtesy, appropriately, of Drive Tesla Canada. While the internal cabin camera has been enabled and doing absolutely nothing until recently here in the US, Canadians had nothing at all happening with the internal cabin camera. That is, until update 2021.12.25.6 rolled around. The release notes provide the same info as we got in the US, where Tesla can record short clips during a collision and use that to refine its safety systems. Additionally, here in the US, we can see that Tesla is trialing driver monitoring while autopilot is engaged utilizing the camera as well. You are, by default, opted out of any sharing of data with Tesla, which is the right thing to do, but should you wish to assist in the development of new features, you can enable this by going to your car's settings and enabling the Allow Cabin Camera Analytics toggle under Safety and Security and Data Sharing. Tidbit number 6 is an update for our friends in India thanks to a tweet from Madan Gauri. Madan made a simple tweet saying, quote, "Dear Elon Musk, please launch Tesla cars in India ASAP," end quote. As we know, Tesla has made a whole bunch of legal filings and even announcements that they're coming to the market. However, it seems that this is being held up by regulation, given the response he received from Elon. Quote, "We want to do so, but import duties are the highest in the world by far of any large country. Moreover, clean energy vehicles are treated the same as diesel or petrol, which does not seem entirely consistent with the climate goals of India." End quote. This is extremely disappointing, as India is not only one of the largest markets in the world, but also a market that desperately needs as many people as possible driving EVs as soon as possible to help improve air quality in many cities throughout the country. That regulation is stifling this potential launch is unfortunate, to say the least. I'll keep a continuing watch out for any developments for our friends in India. Well, we've had enough negativity for this week, so our final tidbit for the show ends us on a positive note, and again, this is coming out of an Elon tweet response. Rich Tier on Twitter lobbed one over the net to Elon and got a response when he asked, quote, "Dear Elon Musk, is there any chance of us getting lithium-ion 12-volt batteries when replacing the lead-acid batteries in our current Tesla Model 3s and Model Ys? Asking for about 1 million friends," end quote. If you're unaware, during the unveil of Plaid Model S, and we can probably assume for all refreshed Model S and Model X vehicles, it was discovered that Tesla had replaced the standard lead-acid 12-volt battery with a tiny and almost cute lithium-ion version. The lithium-ion tech is, of course, far superior for performance and longevity, and would be a welcome upgrade for everyone. It seems this is a possibility. Elon responded saying, quote, "We will try, preferable for Tesla too, as they last so long. Unlike other makers of cars, our goal is not to profit from service. Best service is not needing service in the first place," end quote. I'm sure this would reduce a pile of service appointments, as the lead-acid 12-volt batteries have lasted as little as only 2 years for some folks. Dropping a little bit of weight and adding a bunch of reliability to the car would be a win for everyone all around, so I can't see why this won't be a go-forward engineering effort, even if they don't do retrofits for the old cars. That will do it for this week's long show. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks to all my patrons supporting the show at patreon.com/Tesla Tidbits. And as always, I have a special shout out to all the super patrons supporting the show at the $10 plus level. They're Ryan Scarborough, Lee Sweet, Dorian Steve Guberman, Ralph and Cheryl Waterhouse, Todd Sullivan, Zortec LED Canada, Raymond and Deborah Malkowitz, Ricky Johnston, Nathan Garza, Ed Patterman, Sunil Joseph, and Brad Lettner. If you have feedback for me, the best way to be heard is to tweet at Tesla Tidbits and use the hashtag AskTeslaTidbits if you'd like your question to be considered for the show. Until next week, keep it charged and hit the road.